Hi guys, welcome to today's video. I'm going to be doing like more of my everyday like natural makeup routine, but also talking about like my acne journey. So I do have like makeup tips if you are struggling with acne or you just need to hide a pimple or just some dark spots. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. The first thing I do when I do my makeup is I either like to put a headband on or some hair clips in. So I got this headband on Amazon actually, and it came with a face washing set. You put them on so that way water doesn't run down to your elbows while you're washing your face, which is a huge plus. But since we're on that topic, I use the La Roche-Posay purifying foaming cleanser, and I've had this since December and it's lasted me a long time. First things first, I'm gonna go in with some moisturizer. I'm gonna go in with this one. It's the vitamin and niacinamide moisturizer. It's the brightening one. It has some vitamin C in it, so I'm gonna use it this morning. It smells so good. It smells like an orange, like scented like sunscreen in a way. I'm gonna go in with some Aquaphor on my lips. I don't really do a lipstick or anything like that. I'm not a big fan of lipstick personally. Okay, so sometimes to start off my makeup routine, I will go in with a moisturizer and these Versed Mood Lighting Glow Drops. And it has like that kind of top. And I just like put a dot in each spot and on my neck. And it's just kind of like a glow drop, but it also is kind of like tan. So in the summer when I wear sunscreen and my face doesn't tan, I will use these. But today I'm going to use Saie Glowy Super Gel. This is the shade Sun Glow. It kind of has like a flowery smell. I will just do a couple dots of that. This is the little one. I know you can get a bigger size of this and I think it's glass. I always make sure that I take the product down to my neck because going down a rabbit hole for a second. When I was younger, I was obsessed with makeup. And I used to watch all kinds of makeup tutorials, makeup tips, how to do makeup properly. And so I learned a lot about makeup from a very young age. And because of knowing all these things at a young age, I noticed I would like look at other women's makeup. And there was a lot of women that I knew that didn't match their makeup to their, like it matched their body, but it didn't blend onto their neck. And I would notice it would bother me to see a line on their jawline of the color difference. And so from then on, I was like, okay, blend down the neck. And I think that's what kind of deterred me away from liking foundation. Anyways, going down that rabbit hole, whatever. But that's where I was going with the make sure you drag it down your neck. Next, this is like the closest thing I use to foundation. This is the e.l.f. Halo Glow Liquid Filter, and I get it in shade 3, which is light to medium. I do have some dark spots. They're like, my skin is smooth, it's just discoloration. So I'm gonna take a little bit on my cheeks, my T-zone, and do my neck. So now that that's all blended in, so before I do concealer, I'm gonna kind of talk about like the products I used and everything. So that way we can kind of get it out of the way and move on with like the makeup and the tips. So when I first started struggling with acne, it was at first just like very like under the skin pimples every now and then. And I kind of just thought it was hormonal at the time. Then it turned into being like very mild cystic acne, and basically like all of my pimples were under the skin. They never had a head to them, but you could feel like a lump, and it was so painful. It hurt to even like touch my face. Mine was all like cheek centered, which is why I have a little bit of scarring and like discoloration. My mom didn't really think I should go see a dermatologist at the time because she didn't think it was necessary. My mom just thought I wasn't cleaning my skin properly, which was not the case. So I started figuring out like face washes, and I remember CeraVe used to be very popular at the time. Like it was, people were blowing up saying it was clearing up their acne and this and that. So I gave that a try. I was going to see like a dietitian at the time or something like that, or it's alternative medicine, and she did a lot of like dietitian stuff. And she told me my issue with my acne was dairy. And I was like, my intuition was telling me, I don't think it's dairy, but we'll give it a shot. So I'm telling you, I tried everything under the sun. I was looking into all kinds of dermatologist recommendation, watching videos, everything, and like trying to keep it as affordable as possible, because you can spend a ton of money on anything out there, and face washes and skincare is definitely one, especially if you have acne. That is like the number one selling thing, I feel like, is things that are like acne clearing products, but doesn't necessarily work for everybody. So, I mean, I tried going off dairy. My Mimi had bought me an expensive acne clearing kit, and I used it. It cleared up my acne for the most part, but then as soon as I was done, my skin felt stripped and damaged, and it was just like, so I remember at the time skin cycling was a thing, and I'll kind of explain what it is. And I did that religiously for like almost a year, and I saw no improvement. If anything, I saw over this time my acne got worse and worse and worse and worse, and I saw no progression, no healing, no going away, no clearing. I noticed scarring, hyperpigmentation. It was more painful. Oh my gosh, it was just so bad. And I was not on dairy at all during this entire time, and it didn't clear up my skin. And so with skin cycling at the time, it was like the first night was exfoliation, and I'll put on the screen what I used. It was like an exfoliating serum that you wore. And I noticed when I would wear that, my skin would burn. And I read a whole bunch of videos, and they're like, yeah, that's normal. Like, that's just your skin being purified. It's natural. That's what it's supposed to do. That's how you know it's working. And I was just like, okay. And this was coming from dermatologists. And so I was like, okay, well, they're trusted. They have a degree. They make videos on this all the time. Like, whatever. And then the second day is retinol, which is like a treatment. Not really sure. They just said it was supposed to work, supposed to help resurface your pimples and clear them up so that way they're gone. And so I used that, and I noticed I was getting bad rashes. I even have a photo. I was like getting rashes on my face and my neck, and I just could not figure. And they were like, oh, that's normal. If that's the case, just make sure you find the lowest dosage of retinol. And I was using the least amount of retinol as possible. They recommended 1 night of recovery, and that was basically you washed your face, you didn't put any treatment on, and you just moisturized. Like, you lathered your skin in moisturizer. And I noticed it wasn't enough. So I started doing 2 nights of recovery, where it was like 2 nights of moisturizer. Oh my gosh, my skin was so bad. It was just like, it wasn't doing anything. And that was the thing that was so discouraging at the time, was they were like, oh, well, your skin's pretty like bad the first couple times because it's bringing up all the impurities and like clearing your skin up, so it's gonna be bad for a while and then it gets good. It was like an emotional roller coaster, because if any of you have struggled with acne or any insecurity in general, it is like crippling almost. It's crazy how much you can allow it to cripple you, because you're constantly thinking about it, and anytime you go out in public you think about it, and anytime I would put makeup on I would think about it. And it didn't help that family members would point it out all the time and be like, oh man, your skin's getting really bad. And I used to cry at night and just be like, why is my skin not clear? Like, when did this happen? No one in my family has acne. It was just like, I don't know, I just could not understand. And I was so discouraged and was just like, well, this is gonna be my life. I'm gonna struggle with acne until I'm in my late 20s. Stress was making it worse. But I just remember it was so discouraging, because I was just thinking, like, if my family notices it and they're pointing it out to me, who else notices it but just thinks it in their head how bad it is? Oh my gosh, it was just like a never-ending cycle, and I was just very insecure at the time. And I remember Macaulay and I were dating, and it was like the number one thing I would talk to him about basically was, oh man, my skin is so bad today. And it almost makes me want to cry. I'm sorry. He was the only person who kept his mouth shut and encouraged me the whole time. And he told me how pretty I was and how beautiful I was. And at the time, I didn't believe him mentally. I was just like, yeah, right. Like, everyone points it out, and I don't feel that way. I just remember he was so sweet and so encouraging after all my acne had cleared up. I would be like, oh man, do you remember how bad my acne used to be? And he was like, yeah, I do, but it never changed how I felt about you. And you were always gorgeous to me no matter what. And so it was like, he was the only thing that I think kept me from spiraling about how bad it was. But anyway, so I struggled bad and I did skin cycling. And then once I came off, I just did face wash, pimple patches. I tried all kinds of acne treatment. I mean, I tried like the little Differin gel to get rid of it. That didn't work. So I finally literally just stuck to pimple patches, and I would go through pimple patches like nobody's business. Like I was like a pimple patch girl at the time. We need to keep moving with the makeup because my camera is low on battery. Anyways, okay, we're gonna go on with concealer really quick. I'm gonna pause what I'm saying. I use a concealer that matches my skin tone, so it kind of blends in. One thing I will say is like for events and weddings, I use a color correcting serum if I have a really bad pimple or like really bad discoloration, and it kind of, you have to let it sit and don't blend it out too much. Like let it dry down a little bit. And this basically color corrects to where the redness underneath is not seen when you put concealer on top. And I love this. This is the Neutrongena Color Correcting Concealer. Then I have this from our wedding. It's the mini NARS concealer in the shade Medium 1 Custard. But then I also use a drugstore. This is my holy grail. I've used this forever. I've been using this since I've started doing makeup. It is the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer in the shade 20. And I just put that like on any redness. And I've learned that the more you cake on makeup, the more it enhances those things that you don't want to be seen. So I just put a couple of dots, and then like my eyes and around my nose and like my chin, there's just redness there from, I just get redness there. So I will blend that in. But as I was saying, I was living off of pimple patches. Me and Macaulay had gotten engaged, and I was like, I want to clear up my acne and heal it as much as possible. But I finally figured out what my trigger was for cystic acne at the time, and it's sugar. Like like sugar and highly processed foods, like sugary drinks like lemonade, soda, coffee, things like that. When I would have them in excess, it definitely flares up my skin. Obviously, it's just not great for you. Moving on, I finally just moved on to a like purifying face wash, and the La Roche-Posay Effaclar Duo Dual Action Acne Treatment. This is 5.5 benzoyl peroxide acne medication. It says it reduces the number of severity of acne blemishes, clears blackheads and whiteheads, which is so true. So I would get like those little like bumps on my skin, like on my forehead. It was bad on my forehead and like around my lips. And this stuff is a miracle worker for me. I will feel like a cystic acne coming up. Like I had one by my nose the other day, and I just take the tiniest amount. This bottle is full and I use a baby amount. Put it on there. I can tell it's going away the next day. Put it on again that night and it's gone. I will say a warning, you have to let this dry down when you use it. If you don't let it dry down properly and you just lather moisturizer on right away, it smears that product to areas that are sensitive, like your neck, your eyes, around your mouth, your nose, like things like that. And so I learned that the hard way by getting chemical burn a couple of times. And I'm just going in with my eyebrows. This is the e.l.f. Wow Brow in the shade Brunette. And I'm just gonna comb through my eyebrows with this eyebrow gel. And I also double cleanse. So when I wear makeup and I wear mascara, I use micellar water and I will take a cotton round and clear off my eyes. But I also use a cleansing balm and then face wash when I wear face makeup. So I use the e.l.f. Skin Holy Hydration Makeup Melting Cleansing Balm. And then I obviously wash my face and everything. I'm gonna take the e.l.f. Halo Glow Beauty Wand. This is the shade light to medium. Oh, another thing that helped was I noticed there were things that would clog my skin. If you were acne prone, your skin can tend to be clogged very easily and cause acne and breakouts. So I found this website that and I'll put it in the description. You go and you find your makeup product, like say this. I go to like Walmart or wherever you get it and I copy the ingredient list and then I go paste it into the website. And if it has pore clogging ingredients, ingredients most likely can cause acne. So all of the stuff I use is non-pore clogging ingredients, and that has helped tremendously. And I honestly think that was the number one thing, because a lot of the makeup I would wear, I would notice would plug my skin really, really bad. And it doesn't matter if you double cleanse, because I mean, your makeup's sitting on your face like all day, or at an event and you're sweating, or just, you get the gist. So all of my stuff is like, that I use is very acne friendly, and not everybody has this issue, but if you notice something's bothering your skin, definitely recommend taking it through the website down below, because it helped amazingly. Okay, now I'm gonna go in with the Rare Beauty liquid blush in the shade Hope. Selena Gomez has just beautiful packaging. And this little handle, genius. Opening it so easily. Oh my gosh, this stuff has lasted me forever. And I just take that on my cheeks. I'm gonna take the Mary Kay translucent loose powder. And I like loose powder over pressed powder just because I feel like my skin can be oily in the summer, especially if you sweat or you're going to events and you want your makeup to stay. Loose powder is huge. And this is the Scent brush. My mom tried out their makeup and didn't like their brush, so I kept it. But I will just take a little bit on the brush and like pack that underneath my eyes. I don't really set underneath my eyes because I don't want it to look crusty. But like for an event, I'll take the lid and you dump it out. And this has a locking lid on it too, but you dump it out and then you'll dip your brush in there and then you just pack it on there, let it sit, and then you can dust it away with like a fluffy brush, and then like your makeup will stay. But I'm not really going anywhere fancy today, so we're not gonna do that, but there's a tip for you. And always, 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 if you put concealer around your eyes and you drag it up onto your eyelids, please set your eyelids with a powder or a loose powder, because when you go to do your eyeshadow and you see like that liquid clump up in your eyelid and it like creases really bad, that is because you're not setting your eyelids and there's so much going on up there. I see it too much. So I'm gonna go ahead and do my mascara off camera, but I will show you. I use the Tweezerman eyelash curler and the Dime volume mascara, and we will come back in a second. Okay, I just finished my mascara. I just did a little bit. One thing I will say is I haven't always had very long lashes, but I've tried like all kinds of lash serums, and ones that like really irritate your eyes, and they can be damaging. Like if you're not getting a good one, they can cause wrinkles around your eyes and like dark circles and eye irritations and bad things. So I have very sensitive eyes, I've noticed, and Dime Beauty is like vegan. I love their packaging too. Like these are glass. I accidentally dropped my lash serum and it chipped the corner, but I love their stuff. You can get the volume mascara and the eyelash boost serum together, but I love this stuff. You can wear it morning and night. And I love their mascara because I noticed mascaras would flake into my eyes and hurt bad, like irritated. So love this, not flaky, perfect, good formula. The last thing I'm gonna do is set my face with the Milani Make It Last Original. And that is all I do. I actually have a fireball with my husband for the fire department coming up, and I'll show you guys like more of my glam makeup routine. I just wanted to finish it off by giving you some concealer tips for covering pimples and stuff. So obviously we talked about this, you let it sit, but if you don't have a fuller coverage, like this is a more medium coverage, fuller coverage concealer. This is like lighter coverage, but you put it on and then you take a thin small brush and you blend it out around and then pat over it. Put that on before you do your foundation and before you do your setting powder, and I promise you it hides your pimples so well. Another thing, if you have oily skin, oil absorbing sheets are the best. They're the best thing ever invented. You just take these out, soaks up your oil. Love these for like events like prom, weddings, because it makes it look like you've just put powder on your face, but you didn't have to do anything. Love these. But my camera's fixing to die, so I'm gonna go ahead and close this video out here. I will have everything linked in the description in case you want to shop anything I showed. Some things like this, I will try to find it, but I got this at a discount store, so I don't know. And some of these products may not even exist anymore, not sure. I've had like brushes and stuff forever. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and if you did, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and leave any recommendations you have for me down below, whether that's books, videos, or anything you want to see. And I love you, and I hope I'll see you in the next one. Bye!